What is up? It is Coach Cam with Primal Tribe. Our mission here is to work on your inner beast and fucking kill off your inner bitch ASAP. We want to give you the power and the tools that you need to make sure that you're successful in hitting your goals and being a great leader. So without further ado, you know what the topic is for today. We are going to be talking about rejection. First off, I want to start off by saying that rejection is one of the biggest fears. It is something that stops a lot of people from chasing their dreams, reaching out and trying to make new friends in different social circles. A lot of people don't want to do public speaking or any social event because of their fear of rejection. And a lot of people say that they would literally rather die than actually risk being rejected. So this is the level of gravity of the situation that we're dealing with. And I kind of wanted to just shed some light on a few of the times I had been rejected in my life and how I actually overcame that. Because honestly, I feel at this point in my life, I have the fucking golden keys to be able to overcome rejection very quickly and regain your balance and your ground very fast as well. So, first off, let's start by just explaining what rejection is. That way we're on the same page. It's pretty obvious. I mean, if someone walks out of your life and you would have rather had them stay in your life, then that person rejected you. It's as simple as that. So I want to tell you a little story about myself. When I was 8 years old, I decided I no longer wanted to live with my mom. There were just things going on in the household I didn't agree with as an 8-year-old. I've always been like a small adult, and I decided that I wanted to leave and go live with my dad. My parents have been split up for years and years. I don't actually know the true story because I get one story from one parent and another story from the other parent. And yeah, so I wanted to go live with my mom. And it was a huge ordeal. It was crazy. It lasted 5 years in court and going through debate and all of this legal stuff. It was absolutely crazy. And by the end of it, she said, I literally quote her, "You can't have your cake and eat it too. You're either going to have me in your life or your dad in your life. And I am not going to be in your life if you choose your dad." I think she told me that when I was 12 or 13, and I was standing there holding my dog's leash, and I was in a walking trail, and I couldn't believe that she just told me that. It literally broke a part of me that can never ever be repaired. But it literally cultivated such a strong internal beast that I was fucking 12 or 13 and my mom told me she didn't want me in her life. Do you think that anything that you can do can faze me? It broke me down, but I rebuilt myself in such a way that now if you're someone else in my life that's going to reject me, there was another weakness that I had, and we're going to jump into that later. But it solidified rejection and that pain and dealing with that huge, huge hit. It solidified that for other people in my life. There was one other person in my life that could reject me, that would hurt me. And honestly, I didn't fully confront the whole overcoming rejection and everything like that until I got this one. It was kind of like the last thing that I needed in my life to be like, you know what, rejection, I've definitely got that one. I have the magical keys to the kingdom on that one. And I feel like I've got this mastered. So the other rejection was in my love life. So I had a boyfriend at the time who decided that he was going to leave me. And that really, really hit home because I picked up and moved my whole life for this person. I was living in a different province, quit my dream job. I just stopped a lot of things for this person in my life. I changed a lot of things in my life for this person as well. And feeling that rejection on top of my mom just telling me that she didn't want me in her life as well really solidified that in regards to giving me enough hurt and enough pain that I could cultivate it and actually build something with it. So first, I want to get around the mindset of rejection. So when I look at these things happening in my life, what my thought is it's not that that person rejected me. That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is actually, because there's two planes, there's a physical plane and then there's a spiritual plane. So what I'm thinking when this happened, and I'm also going to add this in, like, I only had this level of understanding in the situation after my second major rejection. When my mom rejected me and I was like 12 or 13 years old, yes, it did do a lot of like teaching, and it gave me a lot of life lessons and stuff like that at that point. But when it really solidified was the second rejection that I got. Sorry about that, guys. I really don't like the lighting. It's kind of hard to shoot a video at night. Anyways, so what I was explaining was that there's a physical plane and then there's a spiritual plane. And your spiritual plane is going to be above your physical plane. And when I got my second rejection, I learned that it's not this person rejecting me. You've got to know like what your capacity to handle is and what it isn't. And I don't think that anyone should look at rejection on a physical plane because it's really hard to handle. You don't want all of these thoughts. So the thoughts on the physical plane are, I'm not good enough for this person. This person doesn't like me. I'm not lovable. This, that, and the third. And you have all of these things that are showing up in your mind, which are just feeding your inner bitch. And what we need to do is we need to feed your inner beast. We've got to cultivate this. A lot of people don't realize adversity as the biggest opportunity to propel yourself forward. So when you have like this huge thing that hurts you, you need to use it to feed your inner beast, and you can't have your inner bitch talking. So physical plane is going to be always a victimization, and you're not going to feel good enough. You're not going to feel worthy. You're not going to feel loved. All of these things. When you look at it from a spiritual perspective, you start to see that God is taking care of you. You have a mission here, you have a purpose, and you have a path that you're on. And to continue on that path, this person was not meant to be there at that point in time. Therefore, they had to be removed from the situation. And then it kind of takes the other person out. It takes their feelings, your emotions, and everything else out. And you just realize, yeah, like for my purpose and what I'm doing here, it's true that I can't continue on with having that person here. So obviously something needed to give and I needed to evolve. And this is my evolution, and this is God taking that person out of my life for me. When I started to look at this from a spiritual perspective, I also started to look at other areas of my life in a spiritual way as well. So if I am here and I have a purpose and I have a mission, well, I can't really spend that much time being down and out about some kind of situation or event, because obviously if I have a purpose or mission, I've got to serve other people. So for me, my purpose and my mission is to help other people overcome the same things and same issues that I went through. So it's by telling my story, and it's by explaining how I was able to change things, and then giving you guys some gems, some value, and just a little bit of wisdom that I picked up along the way. Because I have been faced with a ton of challenges, and there's something that is really consistent about me, and it's the fact that I'm resilient as hell. I literally won't stop. And I want to share that with you because I know if you can adopt my mindset, you're also going to adopt the resilience, the like just the persistence that I have. And with that, you will be successful in whatever area and whatever endeavor you choose. So my goal with Primal Tribe is actually to change your mindset, to work on your physical health, and to work on your nutrition. That way you have a solid foundation of a person, and that person can be used in whatever your field is, whatever your passion is, whatever your calling is. But at the core, every person needs to be first good at being a human being, and then they can go on and be excellent in their field and pursuing their passion, because that's actually going to lead to fulfillment. But if you're not good at being a person at the start, well then honestly, you can have your passion, you can have the money, you can have this, you can have that, but if you're not healthy, if you don't feel good, if you have mental fog, then I'm sorry, but you can't give yourself 100% to your kids or to your work or to anything else in your life, quite frankly. And so my mission is to create a bunch of individuals that have a solid foundation, that are able to figure out what their dreams are with clarity and actually pursue those things regardless of what field, what calling, and what your passion is. I believe that each person needs to be balanced in their masculine and feminine, and they have to be able to become the source of everything that they seek. But if you don't have your mindset, training, and nutrition on point, I'm sorry, you are never going to be able to become a fulfilled human being on this planet. That's just how it's set up. So that is my mission to you guys, and that's something that I always bring myself back to whenever I'm dealing with a hard time, is how can I be a servant to others and stop putting myself in the spotlight? Because I heard this saying once, and it was essentially, if you listen to the mindset and the thoughts of a depressed person, it's always I and me. And if you listen to the mindset and thoughts of a successful person, it's always everyone else and how I can be a servant to them. All right, guys, I hope that this helped you. This week and today, I want you to fucking crush your goals. I want you to channel your inner beast as much as possible and literally just fucking full send. Let's fucking go.